to the work session. So go ahead, boss, it's all you.
Okay, Mayor, first up is a presentation by our CFO regarding, wrong order?
Susan's first.
Susan's first? Where's Susan?
Ladies
Oh,
first.
there she is. All right, they have a presentation by Susan McVeigh, our health officer.
Order of importance.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So I'm here tonight to talk about the Enhancing Local Public Health Infrastructure Grant that the city received. So I'm Susan McVeigh, I'm the health officer for the city, and we received a little over $300,000 from the state. So the state of New Jersey Department of Health was awarded a very large grant, and they are going through NJACHO, which is the New Jersey Association of City and County Health Officials, which is distributing the grant to all of the local health departments. So what we are planning to do with our grant is to increase health equity for disproportionately affected populations here in Hackensack. How are we going to do that? By meeting them on their terms. In all the years that I've been in health education, meeting people where they are, going to them, that's how we get things done, and that's how we reach the most people. So our goals are to create health education curricula and outreach materials to deliver to unserved audiences and the community at large, and to create a sustainable plan beyond the grant period. Unfortunately, the grant is only for 2 years. It's a very large grant, which is wonderful, but to make it sustainable, what we're going to do is have all of the plans and the programming, so that once the grant ends, we can continue that into the future for Hackensack. With the grant, we were able to hire several people on a part-time basis. So obviously that's me. Jackie Larea is going to be our grant manager consultant. She's helping me immensely with the grant and all of the programming that we're going to be doing within the city. I have a part-time health educator, Diana. I'm working on getting an additional part-time health educator. I have my student intern, Alexa, who's helping with the programming. As always, HARP, the Hackensack Awareness Regional Program through HUMC, is our health educator for the city. So right now we contract with HARP to do all of our health education, which is required by the state. And they go into the schools and into the community, they come here to the city to do all kinds of health education. And we're going to be working with them more, not only to increase the amount of program that we have, but to keep some of that programming here so that we can continue it above and beyond what they're able to do for us. With any kind of community health education, we need lots of partners. So we will be partnering with the Board of Education and Higher Education through health education, like I said, in schools. Right now, HARP helps us with programming for vaping, hygiene, drug awareness, mental health first aid in our local public schools. So we're going to increase that and make it even more a part of the schools, the public schools, but also the charter schools and the other local schools here in Hackensack. The Department of Recreation, we're working with them because they can help us with space for programming when we don't have the space. Most of the program that I do right here for the city, I do in the Civic Center, which is a wonderful space, but Recreation has more space, so we'll be utilizing that. For the Department of Sanitation, what I want to do with them and what I've talked to them about is increasing hand-only CPR, first aid, blood-borne pathogens for our DPW workers, and that's all in motion. We have been all throughout COVID working with faith-based community to increase immunizations, vaccine hesitancy, and that will continue. Our new construction residents, we're so happy to have all these new buildings here on Main Street, but we want them more a part of the city. Instead of living here, we want them to live in the city. So by having programming that's just focused on them, we will be able to get them to come out of their apartments to see what Hackensack has to offer. So we have some programming for that. Our Bergen County Animal Control, one of our goals is to increase pet licensing and rabies vaccinations. We have many pets in the city, and I love pets, and I'm so happy that they're here. Keeping them safe, keeping them vaccinated against rabies and other diseases, and keeping them licensed and safe, that's one of our goals for the grant. And our Hackensack Senior Centers. We have programs directed just for our seniors. We have our public health nurses that go and visit the senior centers on a monthly basis. We'll be able to do some more of that and have some program that's just focused on that. So I started to talk a little bit about the community outreach and education. So what we want to do is have personal accountability in minimizing communicable diseases. That's teaching our young people and teaching our residents about communicable diseases and health education, creating a diverse, equitable, and inclusive Hackensack where everybody is welcome. We want everyone to know that we are on board as the health department. Like I said, our pet registration and immunizations, adjusting to our new normal, which is our mental health initiative, which is huge. We want to do that within the community, within City Hall, within our extra special services, police, fire, and EMTs. One of our programs is through the CHIP. So the Bergen County CHIP, the Community Health Improvement Plan. I've been vice president of the Bergen County CHIP for the last 2 years. And each year we do a wellness challenge or a walking group, which is what we have done in the last 2 years. We're gonna start that Thursday night. Will be our kickoff for our this year's walking group, and we walk on Saturdays. And along with that, each Saturday, we'll have events after our walking group that'll touch on all the things that I spoke about. Our Sun Safety Program is gonna be in conjunction with the charter school, Bergen County Charter School, and we're doing a large vaccination clinic with them next month, and we're gonna have a Sun Safety Program for the children that attend that school, and we're gonna bring that into the Hackensack Public Schools as well. So this is some of the promotion that we're doing with the grant. So this is an example of a mass mailing that'll go out to the citizens. Talks about the health department and what we have to offer and invites everyone to use the services that we have. Next. Mental health first aid. I know this screen is not easy to read, but if you can get a copy of it, you'll be able to read it. And if anybody has an interest in mental health first aid, of course they can call the health department and I'll be able to share that with them. Next slide. This is our walking challenge. That's gonna start on Thursday. So we have this on our AOD, always on display. So with the grant, we were able to purchase a flat screen TV like this in the health department to reduce paper and to let people know what's happening in town. There's obviously these and the one downstairs in City Hall that will display everything that we are planning for the next year. And this is the kickoff event on Thursday. I hope you all join us, Mayor and Council. This is the Pet Care Fair. When I talked about our new residents on Main Street, we're gonna have the Pet Care Fair in June. And July. We're gonna work with Eastwick College. And Eastwick was kind enough to let us use their parking lot. Every year, the health department does a rabies clinic, a free rabies clinic down at the DPW. But this year, we thought it would be nice to have a second clinic for all of the new residents on Main Street. They could come to the care fair, meet other people in town, meet other pet owners. We're gonna have some of invite people or businesses in town that cater to animals. we're also gonna have a free vaccine clinic and licensing at that event, and free food. So, that will be fun. And then lastly is our senior tea, to really reach out to the seniors in town. That'll be next Thursday at the library, so we're working with the library, and we're gonna have a tea. And our police department is kind enough to send someone over to talk about avoiding scams. And it's really put on, working in conjunction with the Hackensack Stigma Free Committee, which is very important to reach out to seniors who, for the last couple of years, have really been stuck in their homes. So getting back out into the community, speaking with your neighbors, getting together with your friends, coming to the Johnson Public Library, to have a cup of tea and some snacks, and to just get out and back into the world. So we're gonna have a craft, tea and snacks, and a speaker. That's that. Our end goal, a city of lifesavers. One of our biggest, our two biggest goals is to increase hands-on CPR and first aid in town, and mental health first aid. So those are our two big focuses that we're gonna work on for the next 2 years. And the other initiatives we'll work on, because anything that we can do to communicate, reach out, and work with the community will make Hackensack better. So, does anyone have any questions?
Staff?
Everything looks great, excuse me, especially the sun safety. I think that's something that is always on the back burner, and even our youth don't really pay attention to that anymore, so I think that's awesome. The one question I had, is there any plan to incorporate opioid use or addiction into the health department, or is that like another area that would be focused on?
Right now, we haven't talked about it. We have talked briefly about it
Okay,
with the Bergen County Division of Alcohol and Drug Resources. So they'll be at our health fair,
awesome,
and they'll come for that, and I work with the police department on Narcan training.
okay,
So, and giving out Narcan kits,
yeah.
and Division of Alcohol and Drug also has access to kits, and they'll be bringing those to our health.
Alright, that's great. I think Steve was saying something with the money we were getting in, that we could do some programs, so hopefully when we get that, we try to work on some stuff, cause I know,
Bergen County Division of Alcohol and Drugs, they have kits.
yeah,
They have Narcan, and free to anyone that wants it.
okay,
So it's available, and I'm able to get it here, and I think PD is able to get it also.
okay,
So if there's a need, then we're able to fulfill that.
great, thanks Susan.
I believe it's the 20th for the seniors at the library. Is there going to be transportation to get those seniors there?
We're working with the library with the clientele that they have, and we're letting our senior centers know that it's there, but we don't have the resources for transportation.
Okay, thank you.
Leo?
Oh, yeah, okay, thank you.
So, to that transportation issue, we might be able to get, the county has those two jitneys that they put together. We might be able to, if necessary, they might be able to shuttle some people from the senior centers. So,
That would be wonderful.
and if you could reach out to them, I don't know who in the county runs that. They definitely have the two small buses. So, that might help get some of the people there.
That'd be great.
Yeah, the county would probably be more than happy to do that.
And if we could utilize that for some of the other programs, that would be wonderful too.
Yeah, no, it's there for our use. They were actually supposed to actually be floating around the town anyway, so
Oh, okay.
hopefully they can accommodate us. No, great presentation, great use of the grant. Congratulations on the $300,000. That's an awesome grant, one of the larger ones I've seen in a while. I'm glad to see we're partnered with HARP, all right, because they do a great job. I'm actually, they're in right next to me where I work, so I see them every day, so it's good to see. And I like your list of people that you're partnering with, so that's a good thing. A very good job, thanks Susan.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Next up, we have a presentation on the 2023 municipal budget introduction. Call up James Mangan, our CFO and Director of Finance.
Thank you, Ed. Good Good evening, everybody.
Even.
Okay, at the business portion of the meeting tonight, we'll be introducing the 2023 municipal budget. Before I get into the budget itself, I'm only going to speak briefly about it, but first I just want to explain the budget process a little bit. Typically, we would introduce our budget in March. That's what we usually do. But the state this year extended the deadline to either March 31st or your first meeting after March 31st. That's tonight. So we'll be introducing tonight. We're still within the deadline. So the plan is we introduce the budget tonight. Again, like I said, I'll speak briefly about it. We'll send it down to the state to be approved. At the next meeting at April 28th, I'll do the budget presentation, open it up to questions and answers from the public. At the following meeting on May 9th, we'll have the official public hearing on the budget. And assuming we've gotten state approval, we'll be able to adopt the budget on May 9th. That's the plan. Before getting into the budget itself, I just want to tell you just a little bit about the challenges this year. This was an incredibly challenging budget. Everything about it was challenging, and Susan left. I was going to give her a plug. Susan and I spoke long and hard about her grant because I was concerned that we wouldn't be able to sustain what she started, and it's not. Her grant is 100% sustainable, and she also worked the grant to where it actually took a little bit of pressure off of this year's budget. And it's a 2-year grant, and it won't impact us when the grant expires. She made sure of that, so kudos to her, because this year we really needed it. You recall earlier this year, late last year, when I was speaking to you about the Fire Safer grant, and I talked about the appropriation cap, which is our issue this year. It's never been an issue for us before. We have the 2% tax levy cap, can't increase taxes more than 2%. Typically, that hasn't really been a problem for us, and this year it actually ended up not being a problem either. Our revenues are doing great. Pilot revenue increases every year. We're still finding more non-tax revenue. It's on the spending side that we have a problem. Okay, there's a 2% cap on taxes, on tax increase. There's also a spending cap. By law, we're limited to increasing spending to what the cost of living is. Cost of living in New Jersey for the end of 2022 was 2.5%. By law, we can pass an ordinance and raise that 2.5% up to 3.5%. And we introduced that ordinance at the last meeting. We'll be adopting that ordinance tonight. But again, that limits us to spending increases of only 3.5%. Our problem this year was that our health benefits went up close to 13%, about $2.8 million. Along with that, we also had a pension increase of $1.4 million, or a little more than 11%. Limited spending to 3.5%, but then we've got these giant spending items that we don't have control over that are well in excess of that 3.5%. Add to it other increases such as gasoline, which is way up. Our tipping fees that we pay for, not tipping fees, I'm sorry, sewage disposal to the Bergen County Utilities Authority went up $700,000 this year. All of our utilities, all combined, are up $531,000. Everywhere you look, we had spending problems this year. Again, this was probably the most challenging budget, that I've ever had. Having said that, the tax levy will come in at 1.9%. Okay, significantly lower than last year. Last year's tax levy increase was a little under 3%, but we were able to keep it under 1.9%, under 2%. And I'll get into the details of what makes all of that up at the next meeting, when we do the formal budget presentation. But suffice it to say that the spending is our problem, and we've taken a number of steps to address it. Spending is our problem, tax appeals are our problem. Since 2021, and we're only 3 months into 2023, we've spent over $7 million in tax appeal refunds just since 2021. We don't finance tax appeal refunds anymore, not since 2017, so those have to get paid out of the budget. Another one of the challenges that we had. Okay, so the 2023 budget, 1.9% increase to the tax levy. We saw a slight drop in valuations this year. It's like roughly about 20 million, which sounds like a lot, but our valuations are 6.8 billion. So what you're gonna see this year, for the first time since 2015, is the tax rate is gonna go up, okay? Because we have an increase in the tax levy coupled with a slight decrease in valuations, you know? Every year from 2015 to 2022, the tax rate creeped down. This year, the tax rate is gonna creep up slightly. I'm projecting, last year was 1.27, and I believe this year we're gonna come in at 1.3. Okay. Again, I get into what that all means in more detail at the next meeting, when we do the formal budget presentation. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I sent you the executive summary of the budget, if you have any questions on that. And the budget document itself will be on the city website on Thursday for anybody to look at. Okay.
Very good.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Well, I know that Jane and the city manager are working with the overtime issue. I hope so we can do better for the next budget presentation.
Yep.
Something that we need.
Yeah,
Thank you for your time.
that's one of about a dozen hot button issues.
So,
Nope, I think so.
so again, credit to you, Jim, and Finance Committee, and, you know, sooner or later had to go up a little bit, whatever. I mean, we've held it at bay for like 3 or 4 years, pretty much. Haven't had a tax increase, pretty much. The tax levy has gone down basically 3 years in a row, I think. So, they've done a great job. But the economy as it is now with inflation and everything else, the products we're buying are so much more money. That includes the city. Everything we buy is more. Spending is, you know, it's hard to keep it down.
Yeah, good news for us is our health benefits are up 13%. We're not in the state health benefits plan. Premiums in the state health benefits plan are up 23%. Okay, we took a number of steps years ago to try and build in a safety net on our health benefits. We were in a state health benefits plan. That $2.8 million increase would be well north of $4 million.
I thought we were over 13%. I was actually happy when I heard you say 13%. For some reason, I thought we were up much higher. But I actually had breakfast with the Bergen County mayors this morning, and one of the biggest discussions was healthcare and pensions.
Yeah.
And you know, we have a lot more pensions than anybody in this county. One in the city here, we have a paid fire department. There's only 5 in the county. You know, so that alone, in pensions is a fortune.
And unfortunately, last year in 2022, the state changed the formula for calculating the employer bill. Whereas now the state loves to credit the fact that they're finally paying their full bill, which they should have been paying since 2009, like us. But what they did do is they changed the calculation and resulted in increases to the municipalities.
Right. Has there been any discussion on taking healthcare and pensions out of the cap? Outside?
Yes. There is an exception this year. It's a one-time exception for this year only, and it's only a partial out of the cap.
Right.
Okay. It's been working with the auditor on it. I don't have the numbers on exactly which part of it is out of the
Is
cap.
that just for healthcare or pensions also?
For both.
For both.
On the appropriation cap, not on the levy cap. On the levy cap, there's a portion of the levy cap for health benefits, but it's the portion that's over the increase in the state health benefits plan. We're below the state health benefits plan, so there'll be no levy cap exception for us.
Right. All right.
Okay, but again, more details on all of this, the budget presentation next meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay?
Thanks, Jim. Next up, is discussion regarding a revision to the salary ordinance. That's on for tonight. The only change, this is some housekeeping regarding an error that was in the salary ordinance regarding the registered environmental inspection specialist title, so we need to make that change. Next, there's an ordinance on tonight regarding chapter 88 amendments, which is governs, chapter 88 governs fire prevention and the inspection rules and fees and fines, and there was a need to make some basic overall general updates as well as some fees and fines updates, so that's the change to that ordinance. Number 5, there's a resolution on tonight regarding the crossing guards contract, which has been settled and is on for passing a resolution so that that can be put into place.
Okay.
Last but not least, I'll call up our city engineer, Chris Wheaton, and she will go through the CSO stormwater and construction project updates.
Chris?
Good evening, everybody. Thanks, Vinnie. This is our current project status overview. This is unchanged from the last meeting. As you can see, we do have a number of projects that are currently underway, as well as being in preparation for bidding in this month and the next couple of months. But these are all unchanged as of last discussion. CSO separation projects. Clay Street Contract 2 is the one running from the Toyota dealer through Fashini Park up to Camden Street. And we are progressing well there. The box culvert and the 48-inch stormwater pipes are midway through Fashini approximately. We did yesterday find an elevation difference in a new underground chamber that was undocumented. That's being assessed right now. There may be some sort of change associated with that. There will definitely be some design revision, but we're getting into that just now. Clay Street Contract 3, running up Clay Street along Railroad Avenue, crossing the railroad tracks eventually, probably next month. That project has seen a tremendous amount of activity the last couple of weeks along Railroad Avenue. There's been a great deal of coordination between the contractor and our utilities, Veolia and PSE&G. As you can see, there's a lot of disturbance in these photos, and I just want to say thank you to our neighbors and residents for their patience with this construction. I do know that it's disruptive, it's messy, and it will be over in a matter of months. But so thank you for your patience with this work. We did receive our approvals for New Jersey Transit. Which includes design that a design revision for the types of pipes that are going under the railway. Those materials are on order, so we're just awaiting that material delivery before we commence with the jacking operation under the railroad. Didn't change. The next project is, there we go, is Voorhees, which is a sanitary pumping station on Voorhees Lane. As we've discussed, we've been through negotiations with the contractor regarding excavation issues there. We have responded to the contractor's change order request, and we will be getting going back underway with this project next month. We are working with PSE&G to relocate the overhead power lines that will be necessary to accomplish the new excavation method. Next slide, please. City parks status. All eyes are on Stad Park primarily. For completion, the contractor has made progress, continues to make progress. They've just about completed the electrical work. The electrical inspection has passed. Concrete work has been completed. The water main, water meter installation is being coordinated and is planned to be installed this week. The remaining items include rubber and turf surfaces and landscaping, sink plumbing, lighting fixtures, energization for the electricity at the building and site. And we're working very closely daily with that contractor to stay on track there as best we can. Carver Park, we mentioned Green Acres preliminary assessment. That report did identify some areas that need further investigation. At the outset, they're not significant. We are proceeding with those investigations this week, and we expect those to be resolved in short order. So at present, we do anticipate still that the project's going to go out to bid later this month. Johnson Park is similar to last discussion. We are reviewing we have reviewed the earthwork bid package for that project, and that will be going out to bid end of this month. Fashini Park, we are continuing with the design of that project. We anticipate bid documents going out in July for that project. Next, please. Paving projects, we have completed the 2022 CDBG. Those are grant funded projects. That work has been completed as shown in the top photo. Summit Avenue, we are just starting that project next week. And the other city resurfacing program, the drainage and catch basins work is complete. We're proceeding with the concrete ramps and ADA compliance this week, and that will continue for a number of weeks, and then we will move on to paving for the streets that are listed there. Other projects going on include the Atlantic Street Garage. That project is also progressing on schedule. We are starting the entrance on Atlantic Avenue this week, and as noted in the slide here, the top deck was found to be significantly, the condition of the top deck was rough enough that it was determined an additional coat of epoxy would be necessary on the top deck only. We don't expect that that'll be any cost change associated with that. Main Street streetscape is just about complete. What we are awaiting is the street furniture, the benches, the trash receptacles, the tree grates, and as you see, the trees are installed. There is pea gravel that's been installed. It's a little messy right now. The tree grates will go over that gravel and help to keep that from being scattered when the project is completed. Another project is the city offices renovation for John Earl Building. We met with the architect last week. They are about 50% complete with their drawings and design documents, and we'll be completing that design this month and going out to bid shortly thereafter. And I just wanted to remind you of this upcoming project that's related to the FEMA grant that we will be obtaining for Green Street. It's an extensive collection area for with combined sewerage and stormwater. we have a base mapping project that will do closed circuit television in this project area. To do that CCTV inspection, the sewers will be cleaned, and we do expect that there will be some, ancillary benefits from that program, just with the cleaning that goes on in order to TV those lines. So that will be an initial benefit, hopefully right out of the gates with starting this project. And I think that's everything I have. Any questions?
I got one question, Chris. When we gonna go out for bid for Johnson Park?
The first base is going out the end of this month, for the earthwork, which is the preloading of the site.
For sure.
That's what I'm told. I checked on that just.
Just they're moving from one to one. Okay? Thank you.
Chris, quick question, the culvert in Fashini Park, will that be secured, like that area, so no one's by it? It will be safe?
That's been going on
Okay.
since the project has been occurred,
Okay.
has started. I'm
I'm just anticipating more, softball, baseball.
Yeah,
starting
as
to
more,
people
yes,
there.
as more, thanks for bringing that up, and
Yeah.
I'll check on that.
Okay,
Let's see if we can get it fenced in.
yeah,
Yeah, There is some
there's little
temporary
kids there that's too big of a.
yeah,
right,
like opening day Saturday, so I,
Yeah.
just cover the kid.
Yep.
Right off.
Get some rental fence around it or something,
thank you. I'll make
put
it-
a lock on the gate.
Thanks, Chris.
Anything, Jared?
No,
So, my question is on the Clay Street project. How long before you think we'd realize any benefit from that, when we actually would see water flowing under the tracks from Railroad Avenue? And I know we're on Railroad Avenue now doing all that. Are we connected from Railroad Avenue on the east side all the way to the river now? Is that?
We're not connected to the river. It's Clay Street 2 that's gonna connect us to the river. So Clay Street 2 will have to be completed before Clay Street 3 can drain all the way to the river.
So once that's done and they're underneath, then we probably, when that time is complete, then we should start to realize the benefit from that.
Yes, yes.
How
And,
long do you think before?
the,
2
the,
months, 3 months?
the completion date that we have presently for Clay Street 2 is April, so the end of this month.
Okay.
This finding that we just had with the elevation change, I'm not sure at this point whether that's gonna impact our completion, but Clay Street 3 is about 2 months behind the anticipated completion for Clay 2, so.
So by the end of the month, they're gonna use all the culverts they got by Union Street? Union and Clay, huh?
We're working on it.
So you're working on it, okay, good.
And the other thing I wanted to bring up is, I saw the picture of City Hall in the back there, but I would like to run by the council, the opportunity to put some solar. Parking lot, I don't know, the roofs here might be risky because they're not in the best of shape. But if we were to do a roofing project, I would finish it up with some solar. Because everybody, the schools now have them in their parking lots, and, we might be able to reap some benefit down the road. I know it's not like it used to be where the payback was much better, but still, there's a benefit to it, plus environmentally, there's a benefit to it, so. I'd like to maybe start reaching out to some companies, see what's out there. Maybe reach out to the schools, see what they use. I don't know if you had any in Lodi events.
Yeah.
You might know some people.
You saw some benefits?
Yeah, as long as you own them, you do. You see, because
So
if you
they
don't own them and they're leased to
cost you more.
a company, just getting a reduction in your power rates. But if you're selling your electricity or filtering your solar generated electricity back to PSE&G, there's a negative net meter that do. So if we're generating more than we're using, that's bank for us. That's basically coming right off of our electric. So the object is to own.
So you got a roof like the Airbnb or this roof here, but then what will be the initial investment?
Well, that's what you need to find out.
There's also grant money too.
Correct.
There's federal
There's
money
always
for this,
federal grant
there's
money out there for it.
For solar, so we should just look into
We
it.
did, yeah,
Everybody's
we
doing
need to look into it. You might wanna look, if we're gonna do it, we might wanna do it on every piece of but almost every piece of property that the city owns, you know, to help, you know, increase the generation.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Good job.
Thank you.
The solar panels nowadays are extremely more efficient than the
Yes,
other ones.
yeah, they produce more electric. Okay,
So thank you.
I have them on my own,
they did,
and I own it.
nice. What else you have, man? That's it?
That's all I have, and that's all I have.
Okay, a motion to open to the public.
Offer.
Second. Roll call?
Aye.
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 Aye. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak, please come forward. You'll have 3 minutes, please give your name to the clerk.
Good evening, Marty Smith, Prospect Avenue. At the January meeting, we asked the city to contact county traffic engineers to eliminate the merge points on Summit Avenue at Essex Street for northbound traffic, and also on Polyfly Road and Essex Street for northbound traffic. Can you tell me if the city has contacted county engineers about this?
We did contact them right after that meeting, we have not heard back from them,
Okay.
which does not surprise me, Mr. Smith.
Okay. Also, we at that meeting also asked the city to contact county engineers about reducing the speed limits on county roads in the city, which currently are 30, 35, and 40 miles an hour, whereas our city streets have a speed limit of 25, which is the recommended speed limit for urban areas by most traffic safety experts. Were they contacted on that issue?
They were, and the county's response is that they believe that the speed limits are appropriate for each county roadway, quote unquote.
And that
Well-
includes Polyfly Road, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I think they should look for a new job, frankly, based on that
I
answer.
agree with you on Polyfly Road.
My next question refers to the crosswalk project for Prospect Avenue. I'm assuming that this comes under the heading of a capital improvement, and when capital improvements are considered, these are taken under careful consideration and calculated as to the cost. Based on what the mayor had said at a meeting, each intersection generally costs about $100,000, including ADA ramps, painted crosswalks, and pedestrian signs. That would have made a total cost of $300,000 for the 3 crosswalk intersections concerned. When I asked why the intersection at Prospect and Atlantic was not done, Mr. Caruso said there wasn't enough money to complete the project. I'm wondering, how could we run out of money for a project that was approved and supposedly had sufficient funds allocated to do this project, which included 3 intersections?
I misspoke regarding Prospect and Atlantic. I spoke to the CFO last week, and he told me that the funding is there for that intersection at Prospect and Atlantic, correct? Jim? Excuse me?
It was a disagreement between the city engineers and traffic.
Right,
That particular intersection.
that was the problem, but the money is there. And we're
So,
gonna do it.
so can we expect to see this intersection taken care of sometime soon?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
right,
Thank you.
sorry about that.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Next person from the audience, please. You're up, Leo.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Eric?
Hello, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Leo Vasquez. I'm the new executive director of the Northern New Jersey Community Foundation, which is based here in Hackensack. And you may know of our work. We partnered for several years with the Main Street Business Alliance on public art downtown. And we've got some really exciting projects that we're working on in Hackensack this year. In June 7th, we are going to be screening a documentary called The American River in Hackensack and having a conversation about ways to enhance the Hackensack River and to make it greener and cleaner. And we are also partnering with Greater Bergen Community Action and the city's engineering department and city redevelopment office on a project to enhance green infrastructure in the city of Hackensack and to promote environmental art and to build leadership for environmental protection here in Hackensack. So I just wanted to say hello. I just started about 2 months ago and really glad to be here.
Good to see you again. I'm trying to think, was it the Consortium for Creative Placemaking? Was that the group you were?
Yes.
Leo and I worked together along with some other wonderful people when creative placemaking first came into the city. And it was a great asset in the beginning, and it opened our eyes up to how important the arts are in the city. And had a lot to do with the Hat Pack and just things in general. Artwork, you'll see murals and stuff like that. What was the young lady's name? I'm trying to think of her name.
Danielle De Laurentiis?
Yes, Danielle De Laurentiis was there. And wonderful ideas and creative ideas, which, are great. But I like the fact that you're into the environmental thing now too. We just mentioned we're looking to go a little greener, get some solar panels on our properties this year. So it's good to have you back in Hackensack.
Great, thank you. We're excited to partner with all the communities in northern New Jersey, but especially here in our headquarters city of Hackensack.
Thank you, Leo. Look forward to working with you.
Okay.
Leo, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Now that you said that you plan to do something to enhance the Hackensack River, why they don't get you as an engineer to dredge the river? Because you got some idea that you can walk from Hackensack to Timmins.
Yeah, well, I don't know the
It
answer.
only happened in my lifetime,
Yeah.
but somebody has to start with that idea because now that we are guiding all the water from the city into the river, right? But sometimes when you got the rain and the tide is high, the water is coming back to the city.
Right.
So somebody gotta come with the idea to dredge that river, and the way it can get more capacity in town like Milford, Monarchy, and even Timmins, they can get the benefit. They did that with the Bioverpec Park. They cleaned that area, and now they got the boats and look nice. We can do maybe the same here.
Well, we're not engineers, but
No,
what we
you
do,
are some engineer, somebody gotta get in contact with them.
but what we do is we collaborate, we encourage collaborations, and we're hoping to develop some municipal collaborations around the Hackensack River and build alliances to do what you're talking about and make it a greener, cleaner place.
So the river, here's what I know about the river. The river used to be approximately 20 to 25 feet at high tide. Right now it's approximately 12 feet.
Maybe
So
better.
it's developed through the years, 12, 13 feet of silt and sediment. The problem is to dredge it, and I agree, it should be dredged. When you dredge that silt is where all the contamination. Everything settles in soil with the riverbed underneath. And when you upset that, now you create a disaster, and it affects all the wildlife, birds, fish, anything that associates with the river. So in order to clean it, you have to really do some damage first in order to do it. So that's the old saying, no pain, no gain, but that's an expensive pain.
Wasn't it just designated Superfund site not too long ago?
Well, we are there.
Designated
Yeah.
as
Somebody gotta follow.
Right.
So
They did it in Passaic.
I think that was the
it
first
would be
step.
nice
was
if they
making
came
it
up with a
Superfund
clean,
site.
green way to
Yeah.
extract the silt. That would really make it, but I don't know if that's gonna happen either. Yeah, it would be, it's a wonderful waterway, but it would be an
It would
outrageous.
be beautiful,
wonderful
we all the
waterway if it was
buildings there,
dredged.
you know?
Yep, so, all right, thanks again, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else from the public like to speak? Seeing no members from the public, motion to close it.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Okay, with that, we have about 7 minutes before the next meeting starts, so if you want to take a bio break, we'll have a cookie in the back. Mary, if you'd like another cookie.